I wanted to make a quick little video on this because a lot of people were talking about the hand, and I wanted to talk about how this performs versus something like this here, right? So, get my camera straight. So, I just got done taking off some groceries, and I split a bottle in half because people were saying that the arm is cool, and if somebody can make a hand, it's like the only thing that we didn't make on this is the hand, the claw, and I don't like this claw necessarily as much because the way it opens is actually made for somebody who is below the elbow, so it just slips open. But most importantly, the angle sits like this. So I busted this jug in half because I was carrying it at a 90-degree angle. I wasn't. I didn't go vertically, and for some reason, this just even with the claw closed, just popped out. I don't know how. The weight of the jug, about an 8-pound jug, popped out as I was getting out groceries, exploded. And I wanted to say that even though I love this arm because it's tough, you know, especially for things like shooting and lifting weights, and you know, it's water resistant, and for things like punching and stuff like that, it's very tough. But you know, the hand, I do think there are a couple of people that can make tough hands. One of them is on YouTube, Ian, and he asked about making me like a little something. And I was like, his hands that he made for himself are such high quality and so tough. And like this, don't require a battery. I was like, man, he could really make a hand. You know, I don't have the finances to make a hand yet, but I did want to talk about, you know, if I did ever make a hand, I would make it more like something like this, which, as you can see here, this is a bionic hand. This is battery powered. It's got motors and actuators, right? So it closes like this. So whenever I use it to carry something like a jug, it closes at an angle that prevents things from getting out. The thumb protects that. And so this, you know, like people were saying, like, would I trust this to shoot a gun? No. Would I trust it to hold the gun? Because the way it closes and, you know, the strength of it, a little bit more than this. And people are asking about reloading and shooting with this hand specifically. It's just a spring. So I trust it with the rifle because with the rifle that helps absorb the recoil, and the angle was just on the pistol grip. But I have an oversized pistol grip, and I lock it and place it in a way that is still relying on this hand, right? Whereas you know, with that one, when it closes around fully, it's a lot harder for it to let go of something. So, you know, that's a bionic, Be Bionic by Autobach. And they're still, you know, it's not as durable and it's not waterproof. And shooting specifically like a rifle, it would break the recoil, and the wrist is, you know, also another point that is very fragile. But for everything else, bionic hands are still, you know, for the most part, better for small movements and something like, you know, just getting groceries and, you know, getting this jug and having it explode on me because it slipped out of the claw like this. I can't operate the claw, but I didn't design it, so it is vulnerable to falling out. It was designed for people that are below the elbow. So if I ever make a claw, I'll make it better than this and more like this, more like a hand, because when a hand closes like that instead of like this, you know, it allows it to, you know, be less vulnerable to little things like slipping out. But yeah, I wanted to show you guys, you know, specifically, you know, this hand and the way it closes, because I do have one of these, but you don't see me shooting with them as much. And I only train with them specifically just for, so I know how to use it when I need to. And, you know, a little bit for some Ukrainians that asked me to shoot with it to show them that I could. But I would prefer specifically something like this or this arm for shooting because it's way tougher, takes recoil better, but it is not as good as a hand like this that opens and closes. And none of them can do any of this crazy stuff and aim perfectly. I'm not going to be as good as I would be with a full flesh hand, because this has very limited range of motion, you know, compared to what my elbow can do and actuate, supinate, pronate, and stuff like that. This is up and down, controlled by my chest, tension. You know, it is metal. There's benefits to it being metal. Almost all knees are metal. That hand's elbow is plastic, right? So none of them are durability wise on the level of this Havoc arm, which was made in Texas. But you know, they are still in a lot of ways better than this right now. And you know, hopefully I do, you know, maybe YouTube. I met a couple of people, Esper, and that guy Ian, you know, who would be capable of making a hand that's more like a hand that's a hand, not like a claw. That doesn't need a battery, that mechanically actuates, and when it doesn't need a battery, it's less vulnerable to breaking. It's tougher for a lot of different things, and I don't have to worry about, you know, charging it, breaking it, whatever. And I think that there's a couple of companies that are capable of making that hand. If not me, if I ever get the finances to make a hand like that, I will absolutely work with an engineering team that will make it as tough as that hand, tough as this elbow is. But yeah, this is the jaw prehensor. I like it, but it's, you know, it's not as tough as or good dexterity wise as something like a bionic hand is yet. All right, just wanted to share that little video in this format to answer some of the questions I saw about hands, this hand, and, you know, why it doesn't seem like, you know, I have it, why it doesn't seem like it's on the same level as this elbow is.